I'm Derek Szeto. I'm founder of redflagdeals.com. And now that we've been acquired by Yellow Pages, I'm the general manager of deals, coupons, and shopping at Yellow Pages Group. November 2000, almost 10.
And what's the whole transition been from space to space? Obviously, you're one of those guys that started in your basement, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So in my room, and I worked on it for a few years in university. So up until May 2005, it was just something I did in my dorm room or basically in the apartment I rented as a student. So nothing very glamorous. And then afterwards, we went full time to Young and Bloor. We bought a very, very small 400 square foot, one room office at Young and Bloor. It was on top of all things, an internet cafe, so it was sort of a good fit.
Wow.
But there were smokers on the outside, so there's always this smoke coming up, and we had very poor ventilation. So it was sort of typically what you'd expect for a young company. Don't want to spend too much on overhead, so keeping it small. And I think we got about 5 people in there before we sort of busted through the seams and had to go look for more space. And at that time, we went to Liberty Village, actually.
Okay.
So for Liberty Village, we were in there for 3 years, from 2006 to 2009, and we left Liberty Village to come here in 2009, in May of 2009.
And my guess is the transition was primarily due to flexibility and location.
Yeah, so I'm uptown. I think our staff is really all over the place, so we want somewhere that is certainly subway or TTC accessible. So this, for a lot of people, was closer. It's easier to get to the subway. Exactly. And there's more food options here, so that's great. But now Liberty Village is actually quite built out. So I think we missed out on some of the great food options. I hear there's like a cupcake store now that's very popular.
It's
over there.
really
Noodle store,
really
stuff like that. So that's great. But when we moved in, one of the reasons we chose Liberty Village was because the rent was very reasonable. It was a building. We were in the Liberty Market building.
Yes.
That was still sort of under construction, and we didn't know any better, so we hopped in even though it wasn't fully finished, and there were some sort of issues out of the gate, but I think they've done a pretty good job now in finishing everything up.
They have. I've put a couple of tenants in there lately, and all have said the exact same thing. At first, it was tough.
Exactly.
But now they've got the facilities there. Everything's been finished except for the bridge, which has been an ongoing construction.
Yeah. So, but the original concept was, and they were condo developers. The original concept was to make it more like a condo, so there's shared spaces. They talked about rooftop patio, which I don't think is there yet.
No,
okay. Well, they told us about that even in 2005, so that just, or 2006, gives you an idea of what they were going for. But they did have shared conference room, which was important to us, so that meant that we could take a little less space in the actual unit. And they had a shared sort of common area that had a foosball table and stuff like that. So it's good. It's good for staff. It's good for employees too, to be able to have a conference room that's sort of outside the office.
How does the space here work now? I noticed you've got 4 or 5 different names on there. Are they all owned by Clear?
Yeah, so those are all the different websites that we run. So Clear Sky Media basically ran 4 different websites: redflagdeals.com, pricecanada.com, Scarlet Lounge, and retailerratings.ca. So all within the same Canadian shopping sphere. Red Flag Deals is your sort of core online national shopping deals and coupons. These are the best deals this week that are available now. A lot of online shopping focus. Scarlet Lounge skews a bit more female, but similar to that. Retailer Ratings takes a look at all the consumers and their experiences with different online retailers. So it's like a reseller ratings, but for Canadian retailers online. And then the last one is pricecanada.com, which is comparison shopping for computers, electronics, games, and DVDs. So pretty straightforward all around shopping, all really proven concepts, and that's where we really built the base, but around community and Canadian content. So that's what really separated us from a lot of the other sites out there, is we're focused specifically on the Canadian consumer.
I found that as well. You do a lot of searching online, and you find yourself stuck between trying to order something from the States, and then all of a sudden they can't ship it up here, or what have you.
Exactly.
Which is why I love
So
your site.
we want to remove the friction. We want to make it easy for you to buy online. And there's not enough Canadians buying online, in my opinion, certainly. So whatever we can do to remove the friction, to make it easier for people to transact online, and hopefully save some money at the same time, of course.